And happy Monday morning to everybody out there. I hope your week has started off well. If you're watching this now or watching this later, I hope your week's going well. Say for me, it's Monday morning here in the Midwest, trying to get everything up and going. You get to see me at my best on Monday mornings, which is great. Something for y'all to laugh at, I guess. But anyway, it's good to see, or I guess it's good to see everybody out there. I'm still getting used to some of the lingo and how to talk whenever we're doing this. Um, but my name is Spencer Ray, Fire Squatcher 357 to those out in the gaming world. This is Forged with Fire, the podcast where we talk about life lessons and leadership for men. Just try to talk about my life, maybe help others learn from my mistakes and growing pains to help be better men out there to lead lead the world to a better place, make the world better for somebody else. But anyway, we always try to start out talking about something fun, something manly, roar, grunt, grunt, grunt. A little bit of Tim Allen going, oh, oh. But today, this weekend, there wasn't any football on, so, you know, what are you going to do about that? Well, for those of us that are racing fans, probably one of the biggest races in the United States during the year was this weekend, the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Started on Saturday afternoon, ended Sunday afternoon. I ended up watching probably about 15 hours of the race. Watched the start till at about 2:30 in the afternoon till about 10:30. Saturday night, got up about 6 a.m., started watching it again till the finish. It was really, really, really good racing this weekend. Normally, with these endurance races, you see a little bit of a hectic start. Things settle down an hour or two into it, and everybody just kind of goes on their game plan. And then the last 3 or 4 hours, there's a lot of chess moves and a lot of jockeying for position, and then you really see people drive intense. But this year was different. They they added a class this year. IMSA is the sponsoring series for the IMSA WeatherTech series is the sponsoring series for the race now, have been for the last several years, and Rolex has been the sponsor for 29 years now. But they added a third prototype class this year. Normally you have four classes: the DPI, the Daytona prototypes, which is your top fastest cars; the LMP2, which is Le Mans prototype 2, a little bit slower. Then you have the GTLM, which is Grand Touring Le Mans, and your GTD, Grand Touring Daytona. Um, Big differences in each one, and they kind of get slower as you go down each step. With the GT Daytona being the only car on the track that has ABS brakes and some driver assists, and so that class is for some of the drivers that are coming up through the series, or some that have been in the series in a long time and are slowly working their way out. Because after a certain age, you lose points on your license, so to speak, and end up going down. But anyway, the race, man, it was intense from start to finish. I mean, they started off the prototypes, just they were stacked this year. There was a lot of talent in each one of the cars throughout the whole race. I mean, every hour you had a different leader. They were just, man, they were fighting hard, a lot of hard driving. In the prototype classes, which usually you're lower, your LMP2 and LMP3, usually you have one or two cars that just really take off and lap everybody. They actually had at least two cars that were fighting for the lead most of the race. Then you get into the actual sports cars, the GT classes that are your Corvettes, your Porsches, your Lamborghinis, your Ferraris, your Audis. And they fought nonstop for 24 hours, and it's really rare to see it. In fact, there was so much going on. I would have loved to have been there in person because there were so many battles on the track happening all weekend that the TV crews couldn't keep up with it. It was like, okay, who's fighting for the lead right now? We'll follow them for a little bit. Okay, there's another fight for the lead. Let's switch over to this class for a little bit. And it was, man, it was super intense, all 24 hours. Great to see some good racing. The number 10 Acura DPI with Wayne Taylor Racing won the overall in the DPI class. The last hour was like super exciting with that because Chip Ganassi with Ganassi Racing, he owns Ganassi Racing, has been in sports car racing on top of NASCAR and IndyCar for several years. A few years ago, he was in the GT program, the Ford GT program that was very successful. And when Ford dropped their factory sponsorship of the program, Ganassi dropped out of sports car racing. But then this year, he decided to jump back in. And instead of going back into a GT, he decided to jump into top tier in the DPI. Put together a really good lineup. At the end, Ringer Vanderzee, I can't say his name right. So anyway, Ringer is his first name, so I'll just call him Ringer. Man, he was tracking down the number 10. With 30 minutes to go, and pit stops just happened. He was 7 to 8 seconds behind. And with 15 to 20 minutes to go, I can't remember the exact clock time, he was less than a second behind. And he was coming on strong and ended up having a tire failure, a puncture that almost blew off the back of the car coming out of Daytona NASCAR Turn 4. So coming out of the last high bank turn into the tri-oval. Fortunately, he was in the right place when it happened. Unfortunately, he was fighting for the lead when it happened. And, man, it was so close. I really think he probably could have taken him had he not had a blowout. But for the third year in a row, Wayne Taylor Racing won. New manufacturer this year. Last year they were driving a Cadillac. This year they had switched to Acura. Brought the whole Acura team over that they purchased from Penske. And brought the drivers along with them, and Wayne Taylor Racing pulled it off. So it's pretty cool to see something like that. 3 in a row. I don't think it's ever happened before with the team. But it was also good to see just the talent of drivers that were spread across. Scott Dixon from IndyCar, Alexander Rossi was actually on the number 10. You got to see some NASCAR drivers. Jimmy Johnson was the highlight, the number 48 DPI car. Simon Pagenaud was in that car with him. Even Chase Elliott, the current NASCAR champion, was driving in the Whelen number 31. They ended up having some really bad technical difficulties, and Chase said his first stint was really horrible and kind of put him behind. But it was great to see the level of talent that just continues to grow in that series. It's making the racing more exciting. And I really think it's going to help continue to make that series grow and become more popular. I personally like sports car racing, number one. But I also, I like watching Indy and Formula One, and I will watch NASCAR. I used to be a huge NASCAR fan. Now that they're adding some road courses back, some more road courses in NASCAR, I'll probably watch it a little more and get back into it again. But it was really exciting. But one of the big things they talked about most of the weekend and most of the race was the drivers, obviously, because the drivers are the ones out there wheeling the car around the track. But it wasn't just about the individual drivers. There was a lot of teamwork. Obviously, for a 24-hour race, you can't have just one driver get out there and drive for 24 hours. That would be a huge safety issue. So IMSA mandates you have at least a 3-driver team. Most teams have 4. So you have to be able to rely on your teammates. And listening to guys like Jimmy Johnson and Chase Elliott talk about, I really had to lean on my teammates to get better. I think we could take lessons like that and move it into real life terms for all of us as men. If we don't have teammates that we can lean on and make us better, we end up, trying to walk this life alone and end up making a lot of mistakes. But today we're going to kind of hit our I call it our verse of the day, or verse of the week, verse of the podcast, whatever you want to call it. It comes out of Proverbs, and it's one that really, really has to do with teammates, with having a teammate, having a friend you can lean on, somebody that can help you grow. It's Proverbs 27:17. It says, "Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another." A very short, very sweet verse. I say sweet. Yeah, I shouldn't say sweet. It's a man thing. But it's a very short verse that has a lot of impact. And then really it can talk to kind of where you're at in your life, and you can kind of see where you're going by the friends that you have around you. If you want to be successful, you try to put yourself with successful people and try to learn from them and try to grow from them. If you really don't care, then you end up with people that end up dragging you down, and you end up in places that you don't want to be. But I think every man needs a leader that they can look up to and that they can follow. I think they should also surround themselves with a group of peers that are all in different walks of life. I actually take part of a men's group on Tuesday mornings here in Southwest Missouri. That we meet every Tuesday at a local coffee shop. There's about 10 to 15 of us that are there every week. We do a Bible study, but we don't just do a Bible study on, well, we're studying this book and this chapter. We all take turns. Each man gets up, a different man every week, and we bring a topic that is close to our heart, or something that our nation or our city or our church is going through, or that we're personally going through. And we end up talking and growing and strengthening one another to where whenever we walk out of the coffee shop, it's our chests are puffed out a little bit more. We're walking with a strut. We're ready to go out and tackle the world and just beat down anybody that tries to stop us. We're ready to break through walls and just conquer the world whenever we walk out of there. So I challenge you all that end up watching this. I challenge you to really try to find a group of men that'll strengthen you. Not just somebody that'll, don't put yourself in the middle of people that are just yes men, for the lack of a better way to say it. Try to grow. Try to get out of your comfort zone. Try to find somebody that can help you be a better person, help you be a better employee, help you be a better father if you have kids, help you be a better husband if you're married. And just try to be a better person overall. Find business leaders that are successful, that whether they're family connected or if you go to church and they're in your church, just try to find those men that can help you climb up the ladder, I guess you could say. And I hate using that because it can sound like I'm talking more about career, but can help you take steps to become a better person. I got to have a chat with my daughter here recently about, her driving. She has her permit right now, is going to be getting her license in the next couple months. And she has a little bit of fear about driving. She's a little fearful of what the other drivers around her are doing. And I told her it's all about you. You can't control what they're doing. You stay in control of what you are. Take baby steps, move forward. And that's what it is. I think that's what it is for us as men. We can't just be stuck where we're at. If we're stuck where we're at, we die. Men will die. And I think that's, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here. I think that's kind of why our nation is where it is a little bit. I think that's why we hear terms like toxic masculinity. I think it's because men have stepped back, have quit growing. I'm might step on some toes here, but we spend too much time on the Xbox. We spend too much time in front of the TV instead of getting up and doing stuff with our hands, with our kids, with our spouses, with our significant others. If you're not married and you're in a serious relationship, we spend too much time focusing on us instead of focusing on others. Now, I enjoy gaming. I didn't get to stream this weekend in game because I was watching the Rolex 24. But again, I enjoy gaming. I like getting on and playing, but I also have to know when there's limits. I have to pay attention around me when, hey, my kids need help with their homework, or my daughter comes home from school and she's upset, or my wife has had a bad day at work. I have to be willing to put aside what I want to do to pay attention to them and help them work through whatever issues they're working through. And being around a group of men, having teammates, having that group of men around you that you can lean on whenever, like I said, when something bad happens, or your wife's had a bad day and you don't know how to help, or something's going on with your kids and you don't know how to help. If you've got that group of men around you, you can call one of them up, shoot them a text, and say, "Hey, this is what's going on. Do you have any advice? You got something bad going on at work, or a situation at work you don't know how to handle, but you've got a really good group of businessmen around you, or at least one or two that you can lean on. Again, shoot them a text, give them a call. Hey, here's what's going on at work. Do you got any advice?" Get some teammates out there that will make you better. Try to find a Tom Brady to lean on. Try to find a superstar, because whether it's the Patriots or the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the quarterbacks get all the attention, but you got to have the linemen in the trenches with you. I would rather be a lineman and have a group of guys around me fighting in the trenches than be standing alone as the quarterback. And to me, that's what teamwork is all about. That's what trying to gain inches and move forward is all about, is being in the trenches, fighting inch by inch, foot by foot, not being, yeah, it's great to be the guy standing in the back calling the plays and pointing and telling everybody what to do. And hopefully those guys on the line that are digging in the trenches got your back. But I would rather be in the trenches fighting with somebody and helping them out and trying to move forward. And that's just me. But we got to have that group of men, whether you're the quarterback or whether you're a lineman. You got to have those guys around you that are fighting in the trenches with you. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody today. I don't want to get off on too much of a ramble. It's getting close to leaving for work time. I really appreciate anybody that watches this. If you would, before I get off here, if you would, give us a like, a follow, a share on YouTube, Forged with Fire. On Twitch, I am FireSquasher357. You can also reach out by email if you have any questions, comments, topics that you'd like to have let me start over with that one. Woo, it is definitely Monday, and I don't have my coffee cup sitting here, so it's getting rough. We're almost 20 minutes into this, and it's getting rough because I don't have my coffee cup sitting here. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like to hear me talk about or discuss, you can shoot me an email, forgedwithfireonline, all in one word, forgedwithfireonline @gmail.com. I really appreciate you checking this out. Again, give us a like, a follow, a share. Let us know what you think, and we will see you next time. Have a great day. God bless.